Hello, we are the Geeks and Degenerates, and my forever co-host John is asleep. He's a working boy. Forgive us.
Yes.
I'm a working boy too. For Holy Week, we decided to talk about some historical epics. Since last Holy Week, we did Doctor Strange and Passion of the Christ. So, I don't know.
I- oh God, that was that a year ago?
Yeah,
Oh wow, that's weird.
yeah,
But yeah, I was like, that's actually very odd that you picked historical. I didn't know this was the theme for it, like the Holy Week theme,
there's
because
not
this
much.
had nothing to do with religion.
I couldn't. There's barely any other movies I could pick. Like, oh, do I really want to do Kingdom of Heaven again? Not
Man,
really.
I mean, could have gone with like Evan Almighty.
That's true, but like, we already did Bruce, so let's space it out. Maybe we can do Evan next year. I like Da
Sure.
Vinci. Da Vinci's what code next year as well if we feel like
Yeah,
it. But yeah,
I guess.
for now we'll be talking about historical epics, and the first historical epic I can really cognitively remember is 300, Zack Snyder's classic.
Yeah, of all the fucking historical movies, this is the most accurate one.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, did you watch this when you were not supposed to?
Yes, very much so. Like everybody else, everybody was chanting out like, "What is your profession?" Or
Yes.
like they started doing the kick at. This is the oddest thing. People were voluntarily allowing other people to like Spartan kick each other
Yeah.
in like our old school. So I'm like, "Oh, cool. I'm not doing that shit. I'm too fat for that." Well, like I mean, I got a lot of cushion, but it's not gonna help. But yeah, like everybody went crazy for that. And I think it was probably one of like the movies that started like we found out that our bodies can produce testosterone. Like us as younger kids, were like, I want to be Jack and kill something, you know,
Yeah.
go back to our primal ways.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I think a Tito took me to see this, and it's like you like, soldiers, right? Or like history. I'm like, yeah. And then like puts on the DVD. I'm like, oh, what's this? There's like guts and boobs and blood everywhere. I'm like, I don't understand half of these things, but I like the fighty scenes.
Yeah, like the slow mo, like somebody bashing somebody's head in with a shield. I was like, that's sick. That's really sick.
Yeah. And so, I guess getting right into it, you see how Spartans are made, how they're chosen. Like if you're a baby and you have something that they don't like, you're out of luck, homie, because they're going to be abandoned on the side of a cliff. Which you said in air quotes that this was historically accurate. This some parts are historically accurate, like the Spartans being like, "I don't like this baby, yuck."
You know what? We got to bring the old ways back. I'm kidding, but no, but it is very like interesting because we did grow up with like playing God of War, and we're like, oh, it's just fantasy. Oh, they fucking actually did that shit.
Yeah,
And like they threw the child into the cold, and then they're like, "You're 7 years old. You're old enough to hunt a wolf." I'm like, "What?"
you're old enough to beat the shit out of another child to death. You're like, cool, thanks, trainer.
It's like survival of the fittest kind of deal. Like
Yeah.
this is how super soldiers are made,
Yeah,
kind of deal.
and like historically speaking, Sparta was always like this. Like among the lands of Greece, there were like there's Athens, who was like all philosophers and poets and stuff, and then there's Sparta, which is just hardcore. So
That's where the jocks were.
yeah, like the fucking nerds were in Athens, and then the jocks were in Sparta. And then Leonidas comes back a man after killing the wolf. And then you see the rest of Spartan society. Like there are like politicians and like other small jobs, but their main job is one giving birth to Spartans and two being a Spartan.
Yeah, and then like I remember seeing the opening scene where one of the characters like giving a speech, telling the story of Leonidas, and you see like a shit ton of people, and I was
Yeah.
like, and then you see Sparta as a city, and you're like, that Sparta ain't that big.
Yeah.
Where are you housing these people? Where are they at?
Right?
I guess Sparta's really spread it out.
Yeah. And then you see an emissary from the Persian Empire who you find out later trains Eva Green's character in the sequel.
Mm. Yeah,
And he's
we don't talk
riding.
about that one.
You didn't like it?
It was like,
It's a guilty pleasure of mine.
man, shut the hell up. You just saw Ava Green's boobs.
I mean, aside from that, I like beefy boys too. I like wrestling, so sure.
Alright, whatever you say, man. Enter out of the closet. No, I'm kidding.
No. But yeah, the Spartan emissaries asking Leonidas, like, hey, the Persian Empire is coming. It's in your best interest to not resist and to submit to Xerxes, who's the god king. And like when the queen who starts like why should we bow down to Sparta? He's like, oh, you let women talk in the place of men. You're like, ah, of course,
Ooh.
ancient times.
Yes.
And Leonidas.
But like we did hear that like in Sparta, like it was kind of equal grounds here.
Yeah.
A lot of places are usually equal grounds. Like in Woman King, like at that time, like it was crazy for a woman to speak up. Now here, like they're killing everybody.
Yeah. And then Leonidas tells the messengers like, here even a messenger is accountable to the words of a king, so watch your tone. And then he's like, no, you should submit. You should submit before we turn you all to slaves and kill each and every one of you. And he's like, oh, so that's how it is. And they draw their swords. And then the guy's like, this is madness. And then Leonidas is like, madness.
We get
This is Sparta. I cannot scream for the life of me.
I can't either because right now I'm in an apartment.
Yeah.
And walls are thin.
Apparently, according to Gerard Butler, he was supposed to just deliver it like a calm, stern tone, like this is Sparta. But like he told Zack Snyder, like, can I do one where I just stream it?
Put the name in the goblet of fire.
Yeah. And then Zack Snyder was like, go ahead. And then he's like, this is, and then you get the rest of it.
Yeah. No, that shit's sick. Like I love it that in Sparta, don't shoot the messenger isn't the thing.
Yeah. And then Leonidas consults with the Oracle of Delphi and the rest of like the other people who badly need skin care. Because I remember that bit from Meet the Spartans.
Oh god, I remember when like Hollywood would try to make a spoof out of everything. But yeah, like I do love this movie that it taps into. Yes, it's an historical event, a very stylized historical event where there's a tad bit of magic and mythical creatures that would come in here and there, and it's just fun. It's just really fun.
Yeah, and then the Oracle of Delphi is like, you can't go. It's a holiday. It's a non-working holiday, so just chill while Persia burns your city to the ground. And Leonidas like, I can't do that.
Nah, bro, nah, I can't do that. Can't take no sick leaves. But yeah, so he forms over like 300 men. When you think of 300, I'm like, wow, that's a lot. And then you see like them zooming back and showing us how much 300 is. It is not a lot.
Yeah, but the strategy is because they're in Thermopylae, and the path narrows, so like 300 men can theoretically and hypothetically hold off that line until it's either the Persian Empire is wiped out by 300 men or 300 men are wiped out by the millions of Persians coming at them.
Yeah, but it's just a straight up bottleneck.
Yeah.
And they took advantage of it. So, like, they just kind of knew that, we're just, like, taking our time, and you just, like, hold them off as much as we can.
Yeah, though years later, when I revisit this movie, I was like, holy fuck, that's Michael Fassbender.
Yeah. there's a lot of actors here. I was like, wait a minute, it's you. Wait
Yeah.
a minute, it's you. Like the bad guy from like every DC or slash Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Like he's here too. This time playing a good guy.
Yeah. And then the guy with one eye is Faramir from Lord of the Rings. You're like, oh shit,
Yeah.
it's that guy. And like, if you know like a bunch of rom-coms and even a musical called Phantom of the Opera, you're like, I didn't know Gerard Butler can look so badass. Nice. Unless it's your first Gerard Butler movie and then you go back to see Phantom of the Opera, you're like, this guy can sing? Damn.
This is my first Gerard Butler movie.
I think this is mine too, like subconsciously, because like I wasn't old enough to like really cognitively remember Phantom of the Opera. I'm sure I was shown it a couple of times as a kid, but I was
same
never
here.
like,
But like the one that we remember is him being half naked
yeah.
and just stabbing a guy.
And then years down the road, that we found out even that's bullshit, because obviously Greek warriors wore armor for the best protection. They didn't just go in bare chested in like speedo trunks.
No, but like they did want to do the whole stylized, like the pottery, like the
Yeah.
Greek pottery that majority of the warriors would have like a spear, a shield, a helmet, but they're just all commando
Yeah.
down there. And I was like, I guess that's what they were trying to do. But
Yeah,
at the same time,
probably.
I'm like that shit's heck though. Like, you just imagine going into battle half naked and just being like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
My reflexes are too fast for a body armor. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And
I love how the queen goes Spartan. You either come back with your shield or on it, and you're like, damn,
wait, what does on it mean?
dead on it. Like either you come back victorious or you come back dead on it. Like they carry you on your shield.
Okay, gotcha.
And then the queen's job is to make the politicians be like, fuck the fucking holiday. We need to send our other boys to aid Leonidas while Leonidas is making his last stand. I do love the scene where the Persian fleet's being destroyed and all of the Spartans are just going, yeah!
I know, but like Leonidas is just standing like that,
Yeah.
and then you just see the ships just crashing. I was like,
Yeah.
they weren't ready for the storm. It was kind of like Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah. And then before that, you see what immortals can do. They just crucify a bunch of civilians, and then Leonidas is like, immortals, we shall put their names to the test. You're like, holy shit. Like, rewatching
Yeah.
this movie, you're like, this is so fucking hype.
No, it is testosterone film. Like, this is the male fantasy. Like what we all want. Like we will go into war and not be scared kind of deal.
Yeah. And
Like
then
we are not afraid.
they bump into like other Greek soldiers who are like, we can join you, we're soldiers too. And then Leonidas like, alright, what's your profession, homie? He's like, oh, I'm a potter. How about yours? I'm a cook. How about yours?
Yeah. Oh, I'm a farmer. And then- but they're all
Spartans!
jacked as well.
Yeah. It's like, Spartans! What is your profession? Oh! Okay. Alright.
What does that woo me?
I have no idea. I just follow it.
Yeah.
I think the guy he meets too was also at the end of the sequel. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna avenge Leonidas too. You're like, good
Yeah.
for you, boy. But no. And then Leonidas, the day after the storm, Leonidas meets the traitor, the hunchback.
The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Yeah.
Yeah, or the hunchback of Thermopylae.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not that romantic for this guy. So the story behind that guy is that he wanted to be a Spartan, but he's a defective child. And sure, he has a good thrusting arm, but has a horrible shield arm.
Yeah, and you
Yeah,
need
he's
to do it
deformed.
for the shield. Because if the phalanx fails, we're all gonna get wiped out. And then, in a rage, he vows vengeance on Leonidas. But before that, the earth starts to shake, and Leonidas' right hand is like, is that an earthquake? And he's like, no, it's battle formations. And you get the first battle. It's like 1,000,000 Persians rushing into the 300, and the 300 just holding firm. Leonidas is like, this is where we hold him. This is where we fight. And we're like, oh
Again,
shit.
I do love that male fantasy of like, we are in the midst of danger, but we do not care.
Yeah.
It is the male fantasy, and we all want to be in it, but at the same time, rational thinking would be like, no, that's stupid. but you wanna die with your brothers
Yeah.
for the boys.
And you see how cool the fucking phalanx is, just working as a unit, and you're like, oh, that's why Leonidas told the traitor, like, if you can't work as part of the phalanx, we're all gonna fail. So we had to work as a team, because they just pushed back the Persians in one swoop and start stabbing them. And like, they're not even breaking rank.
They're pretty much like a machine, like push, stab, change, push, stab, change. I'm like, oh.
And then this is the first time we all ever saw Zack Snyder slow-mo, and we fell in love with that one shot of Leonidas just killing multiple Persians. We're like, yes!
I do, like, sure, seeing Leonidas like cut a bitch is fucking amazing, but him stopping somebody dead in his tracks with a shield and just like, fuck yeah, like yeah. Again, testosterone filled. You just having fun now. You seeing like half naked dudes or pretty much quarter naked dudes wrecking shit. For sure, the girls enjoyed it as well because it's abs.
Yes.
And then for us, we were there for the blood and gore, and maybe also the abs. Yeah.
And then after a while, the rest of the Persians are just scared out of their mind, and Leonidas is like, oh, they look thirsty. Let's rush them back to the river. And then they do.
They always take it to the literal sense, and you see like this movie is very CGI heavy.
Yeah.
Like Star Wars, Phantom Menace, or like Attack of the Clones, CGI heavy. But he made it work.
Yeah.
Using negative space, like you see just the shadow of the silhouette of the Spartans pushing Persians back, and them like being knocked into like the ocean.
Yeah.
It's pretty much pulled out of the comic books, and it's fucking sick.
Yeah, like this is from 300 based on the graphic novel by Frank Miller, and you're like, of course, only Frank Miller can do such visuals this well.
Yeah.
And then, like, you see a million Persians fire their arrows at them, and then Michael Fassbender previously told one of the Persians that he cut the arm off, like, oh, our arrows will blot out the sun, and he's like, well, we shall fight in the shade.
Yeah, that's fucking sick.
Yeah.
And you do say that they're competent enough to stay alive. Like, none of them has died yet. Like, they've been through God knows how many waves of enemies.
Yeah.
And they're still okay. And you're like, huh. And then you start to think to yourself, like, something bad is gonna happen.
Yeah.
There has to be tension in this movie. And something bad is gonna happen.
But before that, a break in the battle, and then Xerxes summons Leonidas, and he's like, I will give you all the riches in the world. All I ask is that you kneel. And he's like, sorry, no can do. My knees hurt from battle. I rather not. Xerxes is like, fine, have it your way. And cutting back to Sparta, the queen is like convincing the senators, like, send our other boys to the front line. And she tells one senator, like, you don't realize, people fail to forget, or like fail to remember that freedom isn't free at all. It is paid with the highest of prices. I like listening to that now. We're like, yes, something that we should all remember.
Yes, sir. Oh, by the way, she's played by
Lena Headey.
what was it? Yeah, Lena Headey from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So like, I was
Perfect
very
casting.
shocked. I was like, yeah.
Not an evil person this time, but just like someone who's wholly good, just determined to like just please send her other boys, even though she has to confront the slime bag, Senator 2, who's like bought by the Persians. You're like, oh, this guy's obviously a traitor. Fucking turncoat. And then that night, the Spartans confront or do battle with the Immortals, and they do put their names to the test. But like, of course, some of the Immortals do kill some of the Spartans, but at the same time, the Spartans are just like, yeah, you're not immortal at all. What fucking bullshit is this? And do they have some
Like,
giant thing?
Yeah. Oh, that thing, yeah. Where it's like an amalgamation of like, oh, I forgot the name of that one character from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and like he has like blades for arms and shit. And I was like, it's very Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
I would say.
But Leonidas does get to kill it, and that's how he gets his nice scar on the helmet. Like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because why would you put some weakness in your helmet in the first place? That doesn't make any sense unless someone gave it to you. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Storytelling, man. Storytelling.
Yeah. And like, I forgot why I mentioned the Queen was talking about freedom. Oh, no, because I saw a documentary that was like, made me realize like, oh, if the Persians did conquer Greece, the idea of democracy could have never sprung up again, because Greece is the birthplace of democracy. So God knows what would happen.
I don't know. We would still be in a hierarchy. Who knows?
Yeah, so monarchy type system. We don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
there's an alternative universe, like what Everything Everywhere All at Once taught us.
Yeah. We still have like kings and queens and shit.
Yeah, we're still under Spain. Like, okay.
Damn it.
And then the next day, the person just send all of their best men, even their magicians. They even send war rhinos and war elephants, and the poor animals don't know what to do. They're like, why? Why this cruelty? They send the elephants into the cliffs. They're like, the poor beasts.
No, but like there was this like father and son duo.
Yeah.
Like that was in the team, and I forgot which one it was. Was it the son who like tossed the spear into the rhino and killing it,
Yeah.
thus distracting him from like the headless horseman?
Oh, he wasn't headless. He was just some random cavalry guy being like,
I know. But it's just like
invoking that imagery.
yeah,
Yeah.
it really did. I was like, that looks familiar.
And then, yeah, the guy chops off the son's head and the father goes berserk. And we're like, damn, there's a lot of like heartfelt moments in this movie and you just forget because of all the testosterone. We're like, oh yes, Zack Snyder does sneak in the human aspects of being a Spartan, being a father, and being a son. He also carries the theme of like a god versus a man all the way to Batman versus Superman.
Yep, he really does. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really believe like Xerxes was a god, except for his voice, which was amazing.
Knew before me, Leonidas. Like, damn.
Damn. And then like Leonidas would like toss that spear, like get his piercing and shit. I was like, that's cool.
Yeah. But before that, the traitor does tell Xerxes about the hidden path, and like the
And
other
he gets a new hat.
yeah. And then the Greek soldiers, are like, we're fucked. We're really fucked. And Leonidas is like, shut up. We're not. Well, we are, but Spartans don't give a shit, right? And they're like, you're mad. Like, damn right. And like in history, people forget that it wasn't just 300 soldiers. It was the 300 Spartans plus like 7,000 Greeks. But like since they were surrounded, Leonidas were like, we got these homies. We'll stay here and defend this path to the very end. So you can escape to fight another day. And that's why even in Greece now, Leonidas is regarded as one of the biggest heroes of their land. Like there's even a monument dedicated to Leonidas.
I mean, he was the Giga Chad of the past, so
Yeah. And then that's where we get the line of like, Spartans, ready your breakfast and eat hearty, for tonight we dine in hell. And you're like, yes. I mean, oh no, they're all gonna die.
like I knew you all were gonna die, and I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready to be part of.
And then we cut back to Sparta for a bit while the queen is trying to convince the counts of like, please, again, send her boys. And then the slime bag is like, oh, you'll do anything for this to defend the traitorous Leonidas, even cheat on your own husband. She's like, you fucking liar. And he starts to shame her a bit more, and then she just fucking stabs him. And then they see the coin from Xerxes. They're like, oh, you're full of shit. All right, we are going to send our boys.
I was like, this ain't Greek.
Yeah. And then we get the scene of like Leonidas dropping his helmet and his shield in front of the other Spartans, in front of Xerxes. And as a kid, I was like, but they don't win? I don't understand this.
Yeah, like as a kid as well, I was like, wait, what?
I thought
The hero doesn't win at the end of the day? Well, they do, but like, at a huge cost.
Yeah. Then Michael Fassbender just kills the messenger, and then Leonidas does the spear thing, pierces or scratches Xerxes' head, and he's like, oh shit, I do bleed. He's like, he pulls a Batman, essentially, like, tell me, do you bleed? You will. Fitting that he uses a spear too. Just like Batman. Cuts him just like Superman. Like, I see the pattern, Zack Snyder. Cool.
Zack Snyder running out of ideas. I'm kidding. I love you.
Yes, we all love you. If you guys didn't know, Allison Geeks and Degenerates do like love our Zack Snyder stuff. Well, yeah, you get this is the last stand, and poor Leonidas is just shouting at the top of his lungs while being pierced by arrows. You're like, oh, they all die? Oh no.
The last image we see is just him, just like,
Yeah.
you know,
Getting enveloped by like a shit ton of arrows. You're like, yeah, I don't think he makes it.
yeah, no, he doesn't.
Like he
like-
does the Jesus pose. You're like, again, very Zack Snyder.
Yeah, but like before the final stand, he does send one of the Spartans back home to tell them what is happening.
Yeah.
And of course, that one Spartan is like, "No, I want to die with my brothers." It's like, "No, you're in a bigger plan now." And my God, it's a huge ass plan.
Yeah. He even tells the traitors like, "Oh, I hope you live a long lasting life," and the guy's like, oh, what have I done?
Shit.
Yeah. And then they do send him home as the one soldier is just telling the story of the sacrifice of Leonidas, and he's like, well, if the Persians were shitting their pants at the sight of 300, they're shitting their pants more at the sight of 10,000 Spartans commanding 30,000 Greeks in this field of Plataea where they face annihilation. You're like, damn, I couldn't get
God
more.
damn.
Yeah.
And then like I was like, what the? How did everybody hear that story? And get motivated enough, but like we get a solid scene where they're all running and then it's slow mo.
Yeah.
Like, yes.
And like I think, according to history, this is the beginning of the end of the Persian Empire. Because after this battle, along comes Alexander the Great to just vanquish the empire in total and make his own empire. And like, love how history does that. Seems it is poetic. But yeah, for my first historical epic, going back to it, I was like, God damn, this does not age at all. That is pretty badass.
I mean, no, it did age, but it aged like fine wine.
Yeah.
I was like, yes. And you always go back for it. Like, it is very rewatchable. If you want to watch something with the boys before going to the gym, you can watch that. You want to watch something so, like, get motivated to get abs for your girl, you can watch that. Your girl could be watching this as well, just because, abs. But yeah, it's very rewatchable and it's very fun. Again, testosterone filled, don't care if I die kind of vibe. I'm like, yeah, we all have that feeling.
Yeah. And like this, or every time I watch a Gerard Butler movie, I'm like, please be good. I always have hope for you. Even though it's some stupid stuff like, oh, the weather has gone rogue. We're like, fine.
I forgot. Oh yeah, like he's been in like a bit of like shitty movies, but there was one apocalypse movie that it was kind of okay.
And then there's the what's it called? The White House Downs, the Olympus Downs.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know what? I like these.
They're good.
They're shove popcorn in your fucking face, and you're like, I'll just accept this.
Man, I don't even remember. Like I remember watching one of them like to its entirety, and I don't remember a single goddamn.
His White House movies are better than the one with Channing Tatum and Jamie Foxx. You're like, what?
Right, they were trying to do the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was about.
Before we go on a tangent, what would you rate 300?
Man, it's just a good time. Like if a movie motivates you, to do something, and to have like a certain kind of mindset. Hopefully, not to an extent like how they are in Frank Miller's novels, but like enough to be like, yes, I want to be stronger. I want to be with the boys, kind of deal. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Like it's a solid 9 out of 10. It's not boring in any it doesn't get boring in any scene. The movie's like quick, it's fast, it's just gets to the point. Not a lot of heavy subplot or anything like that. No. This is the message. That's it. 300 Chads versus a million incels, and winning. You know, like and dying. Sorry, but yeah, like it's just it's a good time, and I might watch it again, just out of the shit of it. So yeah, it's an 9 out of 10.
I'll also give this a 9 out of 10. Like the characters are always cemented in my mind forever. I guess the beginning of falling in love with like Zack Snyder isms, like from the slow mo to his action scenes. Like this just gets better from this to Man of Steel to like Batman using a parademon machine gun, going full COD on like other parademons. Like yeah, I vibe with this.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's just a really good time. Like, is it the most historically accurate? No, but the aesthetics are pretty cool. The cinematography is pretty great too. Like that's not saying that much coming from like a Zack Snyder movie. Like it always looks fantastic either way. Like I haven't seen a Zack Snyder movie where like it looks kind of weak. No, like visuals is the one of the best things to come out of Zack Snyder. But yeah, now then, pretty good movie. And if you have nothing else to say, I guess we can wrap it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been our video on 300. If you want to find more of us on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. We're also on Spotify and TikTok. TikTok to see our best and funniest moments. Spotify to hear us on the go. Maybe you're traveling to the lovely countryside of Greece and visiting the Statue of Leonidas. Who knows? In the video, you can find me at Gandelphus1995 on Twitter. How about you?
Oh, you can find me at JomGOM_ on Instagram. It is my art account.
And that's all for now. We'll see you on the next historical epic. Bye, everybody.
Ciao.